Seasteading and underwater habitats. How do they fit together?
Welcome to Colonize the Ocean podcast, where we discuss oceanic colonization, exploration, and education with your hosts Adam Jewell and Brendan Traxler.
So, if you've been around here for a while, and if you haven't, and this is your first time listening to one of these podcasts, thank you very much. I hope that you find some good resources here if you go back through our other podcasts or check out our website. There's a lot of resources there as well. But we're going to talk about seasteading and how underwater habitats fit in with that model. So if you don't know what seasteading is, the dictionary definition is the practice of establishing permanent settlements on structures located in areas of sea outside the jurisdiction of any country. So basically, large floating platforms, ideally, villages, houses, cities, out at sea in international waters where there's no jurisdiction, so that they can become their own sovereign nation is the end goal. And Joe Quirk, who is with the Seasteading Institute, which is a nonprofit, he was just speaking this past Saturday. I'm recording this on September 17th. So just yesterday on the 16th, he was talking about the process they're going through on getting a flag for the high ocean. And it has nothing to do with what we're talking about here. Just interesting that that's what they're working on. But the question is, how does underwater habitats fall under all this? And so, once again, I have been fortunate enough to have been asked to be on their podcast a couple times. I've spoke at different events for them. And likewise, we have had Carly Jackson from the Seasteading Institute on this podcast multiple times as well. And we kind of fall under that. And underwater habitats do as well. Down the road, getting further out to sea, although we're not floating on top of the surface, we would still be a sea structure out in international waters for the purposes of own sovereignty or what have you. So even though when everybody thinks of seasteading, they think of these vast floating islands, beautiful floating houses. Look at Arctide, ArcPad, Ocean Builders, to name a few. But no. Also, underwater habitats fall under the auspice of seasteading as well. So, even though I joke and I say that, I feel like ASC is kind of the redheaded stepchild under the Seasteading Institute, because we don't really fit that model. But we do offer things that they don't offer, and that's kind of things we've spoken in the past about. So, whereas underwater habitats will, at the beginning at least, need some sort of topside support, that's where the above the water seasteaders come into play. We can also offer alternatives for them as well, whether it be energy storage, underwater data centers, waste, energy production, different things, because real estate on a floating whatever is going to be sparse. So if that can be allocated or relocated to underwater, there's that. Plus, it's just another avenue. Hey, somebody can go stay above the waters for a couple of nights and then go spend a night underwater for a couple of times too. So we definitely see this as a marriage between the two, and it's one that's moving forward. And the reason I'm bringing this up in this podcast is that we've had different seasteaders on our podcast over the years, and I do bring it up from time to time, and I think people sometimes wonder why we're discussing that or why we're even spending time on that, and that's because it is a great relationship that we have with the seasteaders, because we all are under the same umbrella of we just want people to experience the ocean, and the ocean offers so many opportunities. While some are looking for political reasons, others are looking for adventure or just a different pace or a different view. And all these things can be achieved at the ocean. So the question for this week is, would you rather live above the waves or under the waves? Or, as I teased there a little bit, maybe a mixture of both by going above and below, as you so choose.